Choose your champion. Great, we're first pick. Fantastic. I love being first pick. Oh boy. I mean, I think the death stance change is fine, to be honest with you. I really like it. I mean, to be completely honest, I don't understand the fear of items like death stance when 90% of the best builds in the game are Void Staff, Death Cap, 3 ability power items, right? Why are they so fucking terrified that new item builds might be good? I mean, it took them 6 years to make half of a Bruiser build. They've got Sterix, Trinity, and that's it. Like, 6 years later, they've introduced half of a Bruiser build. Bruisers are still, like, falling back on tank items half the time. I mean, what about... I mean, think about it. Think about how many actual builds there are in the game. And I don't mean, like champion classes or things like that. How many actual item builds are there in the game? There's Deathcap Void Staff with 3 ability power items. There's Infinity Edge with crit items. There's Sterix Gauge Trinity with some form of build around that. There's Phantom Dancer Storm Razor with some sort of build around that. There's support items and the various ones around there. And that's pretty much it, right? Like, when you really break it down, when you really look at it, there's actually very, very few item builds in the game. Oh, lethality. You know why I forgot lethality? Because the only champion it works on is Pike. Every other champion, you might as well play a mage. 2 different mage builds, it doesn't fucking matter. The end result is you still end up in Void Staff and you still end up in Death Cap. Like, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, you might sprinkle different items on it every season. You might have a different flavoring of build, but you're still going Death Cap. You're still going Void Staff. This is why I think they need to just start shoving way fucking more Bruiser items into the game. Put in Atmas, put in everything. Just start shoving them in. And if shit is overpowered, then nerf it. Like, why not just put in Spirit Sojin? Why not just put in Atmas? What happens? What is the worst fucking thing that can happen? No, but Hashinshin, Scion might build Atmas and then he'll deal more damage. Okay, who gives a shit? Yeah, but Hashinshin, he might be overpowered. He's already overpowered. Yeah, but he'll be more overpowered. Then nerf him. Meanwhile, you add Atmas, you might make actual champions like, let's just say off the top of my head, you might make Split Push Mundo viable. You might make Hecarim more viable with an actual Bruiser build. You might look at champions like Darius. You know, and what are you gonna say? No, but Hashinshin and Darius is already a lane bully. Okay, fine, then nerf his lane bullying if he's a late game champion. No, but Hashinshin and Spirit Sojin might make Riven overpowered. Okay, she's already overpowered. Are you shitting me? You go Black Cleaver Death Dance on Riven and literally no one can hurt you anymore. Unless you bring an entire fucking team in, no one can hurt Riven 1v1. Meanwhile, look at all the champions that are dead or unplayable because they don't have a real item build. Look at Renekton. Look at Hecarim. Look at these champions who basically are just trying to, like, leech off of other champions' item builds because they don't have their own. Shit, even look at a champion like Kled. Kled would love a Titanic Black Cleaver Atmas build. That would be so fucking good for him. What does he do instead? He just tries to do some Death Dance shenanigans. Oh, are you kidding me? I thought for sure 2 auto attacks and my Q, he's dead. I thought for fucking sure, because that was going to be the 4th hit plus the Q damage. I was like, there's no fucking way, because I'm going to proc the Conqueror, hit him with the Conqueror 4th hit, then hit him with the Q. Oh well. At least we tried, Twitch chat, and that's what's important. You gotta try. Wasn't the worst thing ever. It wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst thing ever.
Stop talking, you stupid brainbangers!
What? How much damage? Did I just take 100 damage from her W? Okay. No one plays Alawi because Riot full fucking retard video games can't figure out how to make a lane bully that isn't just a cheesy one-shot piece of shit. So all they've done with Alawi is turn her into a cheesy one-shot piece of shit. She hits her E and one-shots you, or she doesn't and can't do anything. All that amazing gameplay, Twitch chat. I mean, if they didn't want me to call them Riot full retard video games, I have an idea. They could try stop going full retard on everything. This has been fun. Nice we got bot lane, I suppose. I mean, look at it, seriously. We're going on 4 fucking weeks of Victor top. No hotfix. Nothing. 4 fucking weeks of that shit. We're going on how many? It's like 4 months of Akali? These fucking retards can't figure out how to nerf Akali? How bad do you have to be as a game designer when your nerfs to Akali are like, yeah, we're gonna remove 25 damage from her ult, and then we'll wait a month to see how it plays out. Wow, she's still broken. Wow. What? Okay, we're gonna remove 2 seconds from her shroud. Wow, she's still broken. Wow, how did that? Wow. Okay, here's what we'll do. Here's an idea. Just fucking ban her from ranked until you can figure out how to fix her. Or here's a better idea. Don't design a champion to be fucking perfect for a competitive play and absolutely fucking useless in solo queue. Seriously, ban Akali from ranked until you fix her. Actually straight disable picking Akali in ranked until you fix her. Make it so she just has a fucking X through her name for like 2 months until you fix her. Do the same thing with Victor. Do the same thing with all these champions. Until you can make it so people want to fucking play your game, maybe just stop trying to push your stupid, retarded ass game design on people. Hashinshin, we know Zoe will work this time. Buffs her, everyone hates her again, straight overpowered again. Yeah, what if we try another time? How about this? How about A, you remove true stealth. That's just step 1. Step 1, remove true stealth. Step 2, nerf the ever-living fuck out of her base stats until she's basically useless. Number 3, remove the energy restore on all her abilities so that she actually has to kill someone. She can't just be a sustained damage thing while also bursting. Step, whatever the fuck step I'm on. Remove the healing from her kit. Remove the stun from her kit. Remove all these retarded ass mechanics that do nothing except add nonsense power to the kit for no reason. You could make, like this is what I don't get. Everyone's like, oh, certain team makes good champions that are fun to play. Is that truly what you think he does? Because that's not what he fucking does. He just overloads the fucks out of champion kits with so much needless bullshit that you basically have no choice but to have that champion be overpowered. You think Zoe's overpowered because, oh, she's a long-range poker? There's lots of long-range pokers in the game. Most of them don't get a free fucking summoner spell. Most of them don't get a free fucking sheen. Most of them don't get free fucking 80% movement speed. You could take Xerath in his current state right now, add Zoe's W to him, add Zoe's passive to him, and you would say, oh, but he's so fun and interesting to play, but it would make no fucking sense. Why would those things need to be on the kit? It makes no sense. You just added them to add them. Shit, you could add things like that to any champion. They would be broken. What if you made it so Cled's Q reduced your armor? If you get hit by Cled's Q, the first hit reduces your armor. It would be the same thing as Evelynn. Think about it this way. Why does Evelynn have a 35% magic resist shred? Why was that even added to her kit? Seriously, add a 35% armor shred to Cled's Q. It'll be the same shit. No, but Hashinshin, you have to hit your ability, and then you only get it after you hit it. The counterplay is still... No, who gives a shit? You just fucking add it at random. Who gives a shit? I mean, think about it. You could add any of these retarded-ass mechanics they've added to their new champions. You could just add that to Cled, and Cled would instantly be broken tier. Cled's Q, the second hit of it now shreds your armor by 35%. Cled's W now does 400% damage to shields for the duration. Cled's fourth W gives you a 5-second healing debuff. Cled's Q is now trudy super duper sight. It's like the truest of the true sight. It sees you even when you can't see yourself. I'm not sure what I can really do here, because when I'm in my dismounted form, I can't outrun him. But the second he hits me with his E, I get dismounted because of my combined HP is actually more. Yeah, I mean, shit, we could go beyond that. During Cled's second E, he now gets temporary invulnerability. Like, you understand, like, these aren't interesting or fun mechanics. These haven't added gameplay to the game. All you've done is take a champion, remove weaknesses by adding nonsense mechanics, and then you say it's fun because it's fun to be so fucking broken that you can kill everyone. I mean, seriously, let's actually look at it. What does Akali do that makes no sense? Why does her Q heal? But Akali's old Q used to heal. Okay, and it was overpowered then. Why is it not overpowered now? Why does her ultimate have a 0.25 second stun? No, but Hashinshin, it's to lock people. I don't give a shit why it is. Why does her Q do bonus damage against minions so that she can wave clear very easily in one Q? What else does Akali have? No, seriously, what actually else does Akali have? What is it? Her W or her E, where she gets to jump away from you while putting a mark on you that allows her to gap close in, enabling her to just completely fuck up champions like Sion for free, allows her to dodge. Why does her ultimate have an execute? Why does her Q give her bonus movement speed? Why does her Shroud give her bonus movement speed? Why does her Shroud have True Sight? Or sorry, True Stealth? Why does her Shroud even restore energy? It doesn't cost energy, no, it restores it. You're talking about a manaless ranged champion who also has healing? Seriously, I mean, let's look at any champion in the game and add this random shit. That would make no sense. Blitzcrank's ult now does a 0.25 second stun. But it makes sense, Hashinshin. It's so he can set people up to pull them. Diana's Q now is healing against minions. Yeah, but it makes sense, Hashinshin. She's a melee champion who just has a ranged ability. She needs it to survive the laning phase. Here's a good one. Gragas's E now is bonus movement speed and range when used towards an opposing champion. And it makes sense, Hashinshin. He needs to use it to engage. Anything makes sense, but you're not supposed to have kits that make perfect sense. Do you understand that? Like, you're not supposed to have a kit that has so much fucking bullshit in it that you beat your own counterplay by merely existing. Look at Fiora. Okay, so stay away from the weak points, okay? And she can gap close towards them. Good. Okay, so that's the mini game. She tries to gap close towards them, and you're gonna try to hide them. Good. Also, she gets bonus movement speed. Wait, what? Also, she gets permanent bonus movement speed during her ultimate. Also, she gets a slow. 2 slows. Wait, what? So what exactly is a count? It would be like, and hear me out on this one. Imagine if Jax's Counter-Strike slowed you for the duration. Imagine if, after using Counter-Strike, anyone next to him took a 50% slow. But Hashinshin, it makes sense. He's setting you up to get stunned. It's like synergy and stuff. It would feel so bad if he didn't. But do you understand? That's what I'm saying, Twitch chat. Anything makes sense when you make it make sense, but sometimes you need to have things not make sense. Sometimes champions shouldn't have a surefire way to use their abilities. Maybe you should get one way to use your abilities, and that's it. Jax gets to counter-strike. If he counter-strikes up to you, then... Or sorry, if he leap strikes up to you, that's it. He doesn't get a fucking second leap strike. He gets the one. But then you look at Akali, who's got 19 gap closers, who's got a mini stun. That doesn't make any sense. You look at Fiora. Stay away from her weak points, but she has 2 slows, and a gap closer, and a permanent movement speed buff. How does that make sense? And then when they removed the permanent movement speed buff, people said, oh, but she feels so bad to play now. Well, no shit, because she went from being a broken shit 0 counterplay champion to actually having something her opponents can do about it. Imagine if there existed a world where Jax's E did slow. It slowed you by 50%. And imagine they removed that. Everyone who used to play Jax would say, well, this doesn't feel good anymore. By not slowing people, it doesn't enable me to do my combos properly. But maybe you should have to set up your combos properly yourself. Maybe your kit shouldn't do it for you. But the win rate, Hashinshin. I know Akali is pick ban at competitive play in high ELO for the last year, but the win rate, Hashinshin, the win rate. Has anyone ever been killed by Akali and thought, no, it's okay. Her win rate makes her do less damage? Well, okay then. Are they gonna try to end? Yeah, they are. I ignited him, so I'm kind of hoping he dies here. No, okay. Yeah, but that's exactly my point. How do you okay, in season 3, Kassadin was pick banned the entire time until they finally nerfed him. How do you look at that and then say, that was fine, we should do that more often? It's totally okay that Akali is that broken, because don't you guys remember season 3? We fucked up just as hard. No, that's not how it works, Twitch chat. You learn from your mistakes and you move on. You don't justify fucking up harder by saying, well, we fucked up before, there's no going back now. Look at top lane. Well, it's been fucked up for 3 seasons, so there's no real point in trying to fix it anymore. Real men flash forward at 0 HP, Twitch chat. I knew the Triumph Fuel was coming, and I knew I could just flash into Tristan on auto to get some more courage. Cled's ult has been ingeniously balanced such that it actually sucks, and I actually think they should change it completely. Cled is basically balanced on not having an ultimate, except sometimes he does. And that's not very good balance if you ask me, to be honest. What should it be? I don't know, but basically right now his ult is so useless that he's balanced on not having an ultimate. And that's just really dumb when you think about it. Isn't that dumb? 90% of the time he just uses his gap closer like a shitty, or sorry, 90% of the time he uses his ult like a shitty gap closer. And is that really like, should an ultimate that has that many mechanics really just evolve into being a shitty gap closer because it sucks at actually being used for like a long range shield and damage? Yeah, basically Cled's ult is a really, really shitty Sivir ult. That's the best way to describe it. So he gets balanced on not having an ultimate. Again, should that really be the case? Like seriously, stop and think about it. Should he really be overtuned and overbuffed because his ultimate is a useless piece of shit? Talking about, I feel like you definitely should have just fought there because you were dead anyway. I mean, okay, let's look at it this way. There are lots of champions who are balanced on having overpowered ultimates, like Cassidy, right? And there are a few champions that have to be balanced on having shitty ultimates, or balanced around having ultimates that don't really make sense and are fucky to use and kind of need to be overpowered to be good at all. I mean, look at a character like Shen. Shen is constantly going back and forth between his ultimate is very useless and he needs to be overtuned to win the laning phase, and his ultimate gives him way too much map pressure and he needs to lose the laning phase or else he's going to be overpowered. So they'll constantly be like, okay, Shen wins the laning phase. Oh, now he wins. We need to nerf him. Then they nerf him and they go, well, he doesn't have an ultimate to fight, so now he's too weak. So they buff him. So they nerf him. So they buff him. So they nerf him. So they buff him. So they nerf him. And do you understand that maybe that's not the best idea for a champion like Shen, that they have to balance him on both having a very powerful ultimate and also not having an ultimate? Can I give you some example of stupid and useless ultimates? Kled ult is a good one. Half the time it just gets used as a 0.25 second knockback. Blitzcrank. What is his ult? Like if you just added 200 damage to his Q, you could remove his ult and nobody would notice. Shit, what's another one? Kindred ult, fucky. I mean, let's actually stop and think about that, about Kindred ult. Kindred ult has almost no synergy with her kit whatsoever, and could practically be added onto any champion, and it would feel kind of okay, because it would make about the same much sense as it does on Kindred. Kog'Maw ult, yeah. Kog'Maw's ult is basically, well, sometimes you chuck this ability out and poke people. And it made sense when he was supposed to be like a long-range artillery champion, sure. But he hasn't been a long-range artillery champion in quite some time.